back to my channel. Welcome back to Oscar Overlander. This video will be about all your questions, not all the questions, but the most reoccurring questions, the most repeating questions. They came after I showed my Gas Strut video. And if you don't know which one I mean, this was, with that thumbnail here, my Gas Strut, how to calculate a Gas Strut. That video, and there was a ton of questions. First of all, this video is going very well. I got over 50,000 views on that one. And therefore, I have also a lot of positive feedback and also some questions. So those questions, I like to answer them because, of course, I answered them all individually below the video. But just to prevent that, keeps coming, I like to talk about those questions in that video. So usually it takes me weeks on weeks to come up with one video. This weekend I will post 2 new videos because I was planning to do some sort of a Q&A about topics I accumulated over the time. It was about the gas struts and also the subframe. There's always questions on that subframe, on the springs, preload and this and that. So, but what I'm doing is I split that in 2 separate videos because people, they are concerned about gas struts and installation and calculation. They don't have necessarily concerns or questions about a truck subframe. So that's why 2 separate videos. So let me read some of the questions out to you. You will see that if you boil it down, they come basically all to the same point. Just 3 examples, then you see what I mean, and I will give you an answer on that right after. So there is Danielle. Danielle writes, "Great video, Oscar. Thank you very much. I just wanted to ask if the weight of the cabinet door is, say, 10 kilogram, which would be 100 newtons. Would you buy 2 gas struts at 50 newtons each because weight is divided in 2, or does it not work like that?" Tell Shortland, if I'm using 2 struts, do I need struts that will support half the amount of the total weight each? If that makes sense. And last, Romano Mantle, fantastic video. Question, if I do install 2 struts, will I need half the newton per strut, given that 2 will add up to the same amount? Like if I need 60 newton total, but install 2 struts, do I purchase 2 struts of 30 newtons? So all these questions is about the calculation we've done in that video. And do I have to divide the calculation by 2 because I'm using 2 gas struts? And the simple answer is no. Because if one is too weak, even 2 together will be too weak. Let's explain it on a simpler way. Let's say we have a garage door, a heavy door, like a 100-kilo door. And we want to push it up, like same way as I had it on a cabinet kind of thing, all right? So hinged at the top, and the whole weight, the whole thing is 100 kilogram. So me personally, let's say I'm able to lift 50 kilograms. So I would be able to push it up maybe from here till there. And then I'm not strong enough anymore to push it further. So my buddy, he's same strength. He can lift 50 kilograms as well. But the door has 100, right? So now will my buddy take it from here where I basically weak out? Will he take it from here and push it further up? The answer is no, because he has the same strength as me. We both get it maybe a little further than what I could do, together, but not all the way up. So therefore, you need the full strength, which you do by math, you calculate by math for both of them. Make sense? Okay. So another question I had was actually only once, but I have to admit, he was right on that. In that video, I basically skipped the part, some sort of a skip the part, how to install the bracket on the corpus. So I showed everybody how to install basically the bracket on the 20 or 30% mark, you know, like where you lift the lid up like that. But I didn't show where you basically install, let's say this is the corpus, where you install this, the other side of the strut, right? And therefore, let's say if this is the top and this is the front edge here, you want to bring the second mounting point close to the front. Not really tight, super tight to the front, but close to the front. Not somewhere in the middle of the cabinet or somewhere on the back of the cabinet. Close to the front of the cabinet. Yeah? So as close as possible, basically. Then this ensures that this gas strut, when you close it, is fairly straight, right? And it's not too short or too long, where, you know, like the piston doesn't hit the cylinder and you have the lid not even fully closed. And last but not least, the last question most of the time asked, right, is which way should I install that gas strut? Is that cylinder going up or the piston going up? Like this point up or this point up, pointing upwards? The right answer is the cylinder has to point up all the time. And why is that? This is a gas strut, a gas-filled cylinder. That one. It's a cylinder, right? And the piston here, that rod, runs in it, in the cylinder. And this one is filled with gas, and there's no room in it basically, but the piston makes his room in the cylinder when it gets pushed in, but the gas want to expand again. That's why it pushes the piston back out, right? So this one is pretty strong. I'm unable to push it in to demonstrate it, but you have to believe me. So the thing is, this piston is going inwards here, and the gas, because it's an under pressure filled gas chamber, it pushes that piston out again. And where the entrance point is here, there is a rubber seal in it. Around that piston is a rubber seal. So otherwise the gas, every time we move this piston in and out, we would lose the gas, and then is that cylinder basically worthless, right? So there's a rubber seal around the piston, which avoids that we're losing the gas pressure in that cylinder. So, but the rubber seal is, let's say, it's a rubber ring, and the metal piston rubs on it all the time. So if this rubber would be dry and the metal piston rubs on it, over time or a short period of time, the rubber would wear and tear off, right? It would just disappear, not dissolve, but disappear, would get rubbed off, and then it is leaking, and the gas strut doesn't fulfill its function anymore. So therefore, they put a little bit of oil in here, and that lubricates that rubber seal inside. So now imagine you install the piston up. Where is the oil running? So here's oil in it, a little bit, tiny bit of oil. It runs down at the bottom, right? Now you push the piston in and out, and in and out. And the rubber is running dry and wears off because the oil is at the bottom all the time. Therefore, this is the right method to install the piston, because the oil is now running here to the entry point, stays always on the seal ring inside, and lubricates the seal ring all the time. And the piston runs in and out and lubricates, the seal ring stays lubricated. And the second effect by that is, a little minor effect, but a big one, is when the piston gets pushed in all the way, on the end is the oil which needs to get out of his way. The piston has to push the oil out of the way as well, and that has on the end, when you close it, a dampening effect, right? That's the side effect, let's say. Lubricant and a dampening effect. That's why all the time, cylinder pointing up. So that's all the knowledge I have. I hope that helped somebody. You know, I hope that clarified some of the questions you had, or some people have. You know, they don't write. There's a ton of people they don't like. By the way, do me a favor, like this video. I appreciate that a lot. There's a lot of people there naturally don't like or write comments on videos. You know, so I'm not blaming them. But that's why I'm making this video for those people as well. You know, like they wouldn't even ask. So maybe the questions are answered now, even if you haven't asked. So I wish everybody a great summer, and stay tuned, and we see us in the next one.